If I look a little bit worse for wear today, it is because I am having some kind of allergic reaction. Do not worry, I took 2 Benadryl, so hopefully after I talk about video games, I will pass out and I will be better when I wake up. However, we need to talk about the Mixed Summer Showcase that happened the other day. This is actually my first year watching the Mixed Summer Showcase. It was streamed on Twitch by the Game Awards. I really loved the host and I loved the amount of games that they showcased. However, there were a few games that stood out a little bit more than others. The first one that I really liked was The Neighborhood. The Neighborhood, like its name, is a neighborhood builder. It really caught my attention when they mentioned third spaces, because third spaces I feel like is a niche topic that not a whole lot of people know about, although maybe they do know about it more now that it's become a little bit more popular on TikTok to talk about third spaces. And while I'm not a big like city builder type person, like I didn't really like Tiny Glade, I'm not really someone who likes to design, to be so honest. I was kind of intrigued by Neighborhood because it's about making spaces in video games that I wish I could live in. I want a walkable city. I want third spaces. I want bike racks, for the love of God. A quick mention that I did want to bring up is that Rekka on August 18th is going to be in 1.0, so I believe that means that they're going to be out of early access. I do want to bring this up because I've been looking at getting Rekka recently, even though it's still in early access. It has been in early access for a while, so just a heads up for anyone who doesn't like early access games, Rekka is moving to a 1.0 August 18th. I feel like horror games really carried this showcase this year, and one that I'm gonna mention is Feed It. Feed It had like a retro horror game feel to it. I heard someone say that it had very like PS1, PS2 graphics going on. I found that I liked it because the premise seemed very simple. You either feed this monster or you don't. Either way, you're gonna have consequences, and I thought that that was very interesting. Honestly, the trailer didn't give us a whole lot of information other than that, but it did give us some cool little gameplay footage that I feel like is going to be very interesting once it's expanded upon. The last game that I want to mention from the showcase is BallGame. BallGame is a game where you're basically a golf ball and you come to life, you have sentience, you have to make it from the beginning of the level to the end of the level. I thought it was very simple premise to begin with, but honestly, the levels make it seem like so much harder than it actually should be, and I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. They had this under the side scroller category, so if you're super into side scrollers, I think you should definitely check out Ball Game. These are just a few of the games that were featured in the Mixed Summer Showcase, and I really only touched on a few of them because I'm going to go more into depth on the horror games that were showcased because, like I said, I feel like the horror games really carried this showcase. But if you're interested in any more of the games that were in the showcase is still recorded on the Game Awards Twitch channel, as well as there's a few other creators making content about the showcase here on TikTok. And as always, you should tell me what your favorite games from the showcase were because I always like to yap about it.